When I first got my iPad, I was so excited to start drawing digitally, but I was surprised at how shaky my lines looked. Why didn't it look like how I drew on paper? It took a few years, but here's what I found works. Tip 1. Use a screen protector. I use Paperlike. I used to draw on glass, but a screen protector helps to make it less slippery. 2. Draw with your whole arm from your shoulder or your elbow, which helps your lines to be more stable than drawing with your wrist. Save that for tiny details or shorter lines. 3. Try changing your brush settings. Go to the brush library and tap on that brush, and then turn up the streamline or stabilization. You can try it out here to see how it feels and find the flow that works best for you. 4. Use Snap to Shape for lines, circles, and arcs. You can even change the shape by clicking Edit Shape at the top. And 5. Try rotating the canvas. If your line you're drawing feels awkward, you can rotate it for a better angle. This works really well for curves. Oh yeah, and if at first you don't succeed, undo and try again. What tricks do you use to get smoother lines?
What I wish I knew when I first got Procreate Part 7. The first one, if you long hold on a line and then put your other finger down, it will make it perfectly horizontal and you'll be able to move it in 15-degree increments. The second one is if you tap in the top left part of your disc, it will make it perfectly white. You could do this for any other parts of the disc wheel. You can also make your palette pop out by dragging the top part of it and dragging it over. You can use any part of the color thing. The next one is making a reference layer. You can color drop in a different layer. Just put the layer beneath it and make the top outline layer a reference layer. Makes things super handy. I use it all the time. The last one is you can save selections. I use the automatic selection tool for this one and hit save and load and the plus sign, but you could also use this for any of the other ones and you can save it for future use.
Procreate tips to make your life 10 times easier. You're going to want to stick around for these because these are so helpful. First of all, if you take 3 fingers and swipe up, this menu will come up. And from there, it's an easy cut, copy, paste, duplicate, and paste. I already said paste. But anyway, you get the point. And you can easily go cut and paste, and it'll automatically be on a new layer. Another one, say you have multiple things to fill in, and you don't want to color drop each and every one. Press the ribbon, then automatic, and go color fill, and then oops, not that. And then you can just press each one, and they'll fill in. Another one, you can move different layers to different canvases by just taking the layer, pressing and holding on it, and then pressing gallery and say you want it to be here, import it, oops, and it'll show up there. Whee, yeah.
Okay, if you use Procreate and a Cricut to make stickers, keep on watching. I used to outline all my stickers by hand by adding a white border around it like this until I learned this secret. So grab whatever design you want to make into a sticker, make sure there's no background on, and save it as a PNG file. From here, you're going to go to pixlr.com and you're going to select Pixlr E Advanced Photo Editor and then select that file that we just saved. So from here, you're going to go to Filter and then you're going to select Outline, and it's going to add a stroke or an outline around your image. From here, you can play with the settings. You can make it as thick as you want or as thin. And once you're done, you're going to hit save and make sure you save as a PNG file. And it's going to show up in your downloads just like this. So as you can see here, there is a white border around the sticker in the Cricut application. And from there, you just resize. And once you print it out, it's going to look like this.
Here are 5 tips on how to improve your portrait drawings. Tip number 1. To change the opacity of the picture, make sure to tap on the little N next to that layer and slide it down. I like to go to about 70%. Here's the difference. It just allows you to be able to see the lines you're drawing better. Tip number 2 is to zoom in when you're drawing rather than staying zoomed out. As you can see, it's way easier to draw lines when zoomed in. Tip number 3 is to use the monoline brush for drawing. This second monoline brush you see here is thicker, and that's for my outline. I just went in and changed the max size. Tip number 4 is to add some detail to your clothing. Whether that's the lines on jackets or pants, make sure to add those in because it will make it look more realistic. When you color it in, it won't look as flat. And finally, tip number 5. If you have a straight edge on your photo, you can draw a line and hold down to create a straight line. Then use your eraser to fix it up.
I just saw a reel about this Procreate feature. How did I not know about this? I thought the reference button was useless. Create a new layer and put it below the reference. Drag and drop your color. It will fill in the space perfectly. Creating a separate color layer super easily.
This is a great question. So sometimes when you're using Gaussian blur to blend two colors together, they go really transparent at the ends. So in order for them to not go to transparent, you want to turn your layer into alpha lock. A trick to that is swiping with 2 fingers. That's how I do it. But you want to put it into alpha lock, and then you can go to Gaussian blur and blend them together. And as you can see, the edges stay the same and they don't go transparent.
Another Procreate tip. Most of you know that if you want a straight line, you can just drag and hold. But if you press your finger down while you're holding, it will make a perfectly horizontal line. Then when you go up and down, it will move in 15-degree increments. Hope that helped.
Hey guys, today we have a fun Procreate tutorial for you. After picking out some pastel colors to use, we drew some different colored lines for the design and then dragged and dropped the colors to fill it in. It ended up looking like this, and next we chose the liquify option to mix the colors together. This can be found in the top left of Procreate, and we started by changing the push setting to the twirl left setting and then fully decreasing the momentum and distortion. If you hold down on the design, it will twirl all the colors, and if you then increase the distortion and momentum, it'll create a really cool marbleized design. Once you finally reach a look you like, you can even write with it. To do this, just add a layer below the layer with the design, enable the clipping mask, and then you can draw with this fun new pen. You can repeat this process with any other designs, and we love using this feature when making stickers or writing. It also makes a great background. Stay tuned for tomorrow.
Here are my favorite hidden features in Procreate. If you're using a textured brush and want to erase using that same brush, click and hold the eraser button, and that will quickly get you the same brush without scrolling. If you want to clear your current drawing layer, use 3 fingers to scrub back and forth. If you want to quickly get a perfect shape, hold 1 finger on the screen while drawing. Then you can go and edit the shape size. You can also do this with squares too, and lines. You can also do this to get a perfect angle with your lines. If you want to quickly turn alpha lock on a certain layer, swipe the layer with 2 fingers. More fun tips are coming soon.
Today I'm going to show you guys how to download a font onto Procreate. For purposes of this video, I'm going to show you guys using the fonts from DaFont, but keep in mind these are for free and personal use only. So I'm going to download this one that says Lambrizia. Sorry if I mispronounced that. It goes over to my downloads and then click it and I open it onto my downloads. There it is. I want to make sure it's open so it looks something like this. It has the OTF. Then I close that and I open Procreate. I highlight the text that I want and I go over to import font. You're going to want to scroll down to the font that you just downloaded. Here it is. So I open it and I click the OTF and it imports by itself. So then I just go over to the fonts and I find the one I like and then it appears here, and that's pretty much it. Follow
Procreate mini tutorials you need to know, part 3. How to outline your image for a sticker. First, duplicate your layer, then turn off the top layer. Go into the adjustments menu and we're going to turn that bottom layer all the way up in the brightness, so that way it's just an easy way to turn it white. Now go back into the adjustments and click Gaussian blur. Slide to adjust it is at the top, and you just kind of put your pencil on and slide it to where you want it. I would say 10% is a good rule. That's how it will look. And now go into the selection tool. You're going to click automatic and click outside of your image. Slide the selection tool to make it smoother and click invert. Click your paintbrush, and this is where you will see where the selection has been made. Now you're going to want to grab a full color brush and then color that whole space in. Go back to your layers, click layer 1 and turn it on. Things I wish I knew in Procreate, part 11. Today, I'm going to show you guys the difference between alpha lock and clipping mask. This definitely confuses a lot of people, so first we're going to talk about alpha lock. When you click it, you'll see the checker flag behind it. Once you have alpha lock on, you can only paint or smudge inside the area that already has paint on it. Basically, alpha lock lets you work without worrying about painting outside the lines. Now with clipping mask, that's the second part. Clipping mask clips your active layer, the one you're drawing on, to the layer underneath it. So make sure when you do clipping mask, you have it above the layer that you want to clip it to, if that makes sense. So now you have this giant layer, you go in, hit clipping mask, and it will snap or clip to the Tammy layer.
The beautiful thing about this is that you can actually use the arrow tool and move that layer around.
So on the last video, I accidentally discovered a stripe hack. So I'm going to recontextualize it with this template to help y'all do it. Right now I'm just drawing straight vertical, or you could do horizontal stripes down the shirt. I'm trying to go with the flow of the arms and the torso, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Then, get this, I'm going to liquefy. I'm going to my edge tool. You can mess with the size and the pressure to make sure this comes out okay, and just draw a line where you want your wrinkle to be. That's it. And I cannot express how much time this saves. Like, do you know how long it would take for me to figure that out? Try it out, guys. Things I just found out after using Procreate for 3 years. So you know how sometimes you fill a shape and it's got that little white border on the outside? Well, that's threshold. All you need to do is hold that color and adjust the threshold, and that white space will be gone. The next is that you can actually make a perfect shape, and I don't mean just holding it. I mean if you tap it, it'll change a circle into a perfect circle or a square into a perfect square. Same for lines. Another one is that you don't have to tap the edge to color pick. You can actually just hold your finger on it. I should have known that. Another one is that you can actually drag layers into your gallery onto another project in the layer panel. Saves so much time. Another is the quick menu, which can be found right here. Then you just choose how you want to access it. I did a 4-finger tap. So your quick menu is completely adjustable. All you have to do is hold down a button and you'll find an array of options to use, from animation type things to liquefy, references, all that good stuff. Happy drawing, guys.